What is going on, guys? JCU over here, and we're back with another video, man. Today, we got the entire story of Danny Phantom in 25 minutes. So, I'm not sure about y'all, but as a kid, I loved Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, I was more of a Cartoon Network kid than like a Disney and like Nickelodeon kid. Like, don't get me wrong, I know I know like dang near every show from all three channels, but Cartoon Network was my baby. That was my love. After that, it was of course Danny Phantom from Nickelodeon. Just all around peak. Peak. I could probably sit down and rewatch that show right now if I could. Now, I would be lying if I told you guys I remember everything from that freaking show. Absolutely not. So that's why we got Jartoon today. Got him got the reaction to that video to this video. And yeah, guys, without any further ado, let's get into it. Hey, before we continue though, I want y'all to comment. Which channel, what type of kid were you? Were you a Cartoon Network kid, the real OG? Or were you Nickelodeon or even Disney Channel? Nothing wrong with the other two, but just what it didn't hit like OG 220 early 2000s and then even 2010 too. It just didn't hit. It just didn't hit the same. But yeah, get to it.
Danny Phantom is an iconic Nickelodeon television series that won the hearts of millions upon its release.
Yes, sir.
It only ran for 3 seasons because of how expensive.
Hey, 3 seasons of peak though.
During production, Butch Hartman, the same man who famously wrote Fairly Odd Parents, switched.
This is another good one, by the way. If like, oh my goodness, like my kids, they're growing up on all my shows. Don't care, all my shows, movies, it doesn't matter. They growing up with all like whatever I watch, they're watching it. I don't know what they're coming out with right now, but it's not it. It's just not it.
To a more expensive animation style that caused the show to run out of budget. While only running for a short period of time from 2004 to 2007, Hartman emphasizes in interviews his love for the show, and even claims that it was arguably one of his most accomplished works. First, let's get some context. Danny Phantom is a teenage boy who lives in Amity Park and is currently in high school. His parents are absolutely.
Yo, I didn't even know that was a high school name.
And is currently
Asper High. Hey, that's kind of funny actually. Like I'm it's well over 20 years. I'm 21, but like it's been so long. I've watched this thing. I know for a fact I've watched the show countless times, especially as a kid, but I never noticed the high school's name was Casper High.
In high school, his parents are absolutely obsessed with ghost hunting and have many different gadgets that they use in order to catch these so-called ghosts. One of them being a portal to a ghost realm. One day, Danny walks through it by accident and ends up taking on a half-ghost personality that goes by Danny Phantom. Danny's transformation is explained thoroughly through his iconic theme song, which I'm sure most of you remember jamming to as children.
Yes, sir. Young Danny Phantom was just 14. Bro, I was jamming to that.
We begin. Danny. He's the main character and the son of Jack and Maddie. He has ghost powers and is called Danny Phantom whenever in ghost form. Jack is Danny's crazy father.
That man's so funny.
Ghosts. An honorable mention is that both Jack and Maddie are not portrayed as being absolutely brain dead like most parents are in cartoons around this time period.
A Phatom extractor doesn't hurt humans, unless it gets in your hair.
Maddie is Danny's mother and wife to Jack. She's also completely obsessed with ghosts, but she's slightly more intelligent than Jack. Jazz is Danny's older sister.
I see why Vlad was tripping. I'll be tripping too. Just saying.
And protector within the show. She cares for Danny deeply and is a good older sister. Sam is Danny's girl best friend and main.
Let's talk about it. You guys knew it was coming. Let's talk about it. Arguably one of the like top 10 childhood crushes of all time. Actually, it's really top 5. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I ain't gonna put my list out there because some of y'all gonna judge, but Sam, he was up there, man. Lived rent free in my head. I think that's the reason I'm addicted to like toxic women. Not toxic. Wrong choice of words. Toxic women. Look, but man, bro. Man.
An ally within the entire show. almost sidekick status along with Tucker. Tucker is another one of Danny's best friends and his main bro, Vlad Masters, the main antagonist throughout the entire show.
Wait a second. I'm thinking of the wrong character right now. I'm thinking about Shigu. You know what? Sam, not toxic. It's the emo part of her that I like. My apologies to y'all. I cannot explain myself. And then y'all come in the comments and roast me. I can't. Wait, I muted it.
Humiliate his father. More on that ahead. Antagonist throughout the entire of Danny's best friends and his main bro, Vlad Masters, the main antagonist throughout the entire show.
Yep.
A half ghost man himself who is obsessed with trying to defeat Danny and humiliate his father. More on that ahead. Danny, Daniela Phatom, is a little girl who Danny is super close with. We'll talk more about
I forgot
that.
about
She's
her.
also a half ghost and is technically related to Danny in a way. I'm not sure. Just tune in and find out more about her later. All right, let's get started. Starting off strong with the episode I remember most from my childhood, Mystery Meat is the first ever Danny Phantom episode, and it aired on April 3rd, 2004. The episode begins
This crap
with
had me
Danny
in
chatting
such a
with his friend Sam
chokehold
and
when I was a
Tucker about his
kid.
ghost powers, and debating
This and
whether or not
Avatar.
he should tell his parents about
This
what's
and
going on
Avatar.
with him, as
Hands
his
down. Like
parents
a lot
are
of
ghost
people,
hunters.
a lot of people went and watched Avatar like maybe a couple years ago. Not a lot, but like when Avatar first initially aired, I felt as though like not enough people enjoyed it. Like not like I don't know. And then like I would mention Avatar to like a certain like some of my friends when I was a kid. What is that? This ain't the third. Flash forward 2020, 2021. All of a sudden everybody's a big Avatar fan. Like, bro, I swear. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Somebody let me know. I don't know.
Who continuously think their devices aren't working because they go off near Danny. This conversation gets interrupted, though, by Sam complaining about the school lunch menu, and it doesn't take long until she convinces the school board to change their menu to an all-vegetarian diet.
What is this? Grass on a bun? What have you done?
Because of
She basically did what Michelle Obama just did back in 08. Just saying.
this vegetarian change,
Just
a
saying.
mean ghost lunch lady emerges from the ghost realm, sensing that something terrible has happened within the school. She angrily turns into a giant meat monster that Danny has to defeat in order to save the school. And more specifically, Sam, as the lunch lady hates what she's done with her menu. Eventually, Danny defeats the meat lunch lady, and all is well within his little world. Except perhaps that he and his friends are the ones forced to clean up all the meat remains from the battle. A new love interest is introduced in this episode.
Wow. I'm not going to sit here and say she's top 10 because she's not. But in this show, though, when I was a kid, I understood why Danny was all on Paulina. I understood 100%. This right here, I understand, bro. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Yeah, I keep muting you. Oh my goodness.
Introduced in this episode, and her name is Paulina. Don't worry, everyone. I definitely ship Danny and Sam, but I can't ignore what actually went down.
See, I'm telling you.
Fight a ghost dragon that appears, and he accidentally takes her amulet. Later, while Danny is at school, he confesses that he wants to take Paulina as his date to the school dance. Sam ends up getting in an argument with Paulina and calls her shallow. Paulina takes great offense to this and seeks revenge on Sam by going to the dance with Danny. Because, like all of us at home, Paulina assumed that Sam and Danny were already dating. When Danny gives Paulina the amulet that fell out of his backpack, she eagerly takes it and agrees to
So
be
digger,
with him.
literally.
Kinda cute, and you have great taste in underwear.
It isn't until later at the mall when she
That's
gets
kinda creepy, not gonna lie.
turns into a giant raging dragon that Danny realizes the amulet actually causes the wearer to turn into an angry monster whenever mad.
I'll go change into that dumb dress I wasn't gonna wear.
See ya!
Later that night at the dance, Danny tells Paulina that the amulet is actually Sam's, in hopes that he might be able to get it back from her. This only pisses Paulina off. Sam, later in the bathroom, tells Paulina that she isn't dating Danny.
Top 10.
To which Paulina gives the amulet back to Sam and tells her that she only dated Danny because she thought she was stealing him from her. This enrages Sam, but since she already has the necklace on, she turns into a raging dragon.
That's Sam.
Danny eventually is able to get the amulet off of her, and the two dance, just like how it should have been from the beginning.
Yep.
Interesting enough, this episode is actually narrated by Tucker throughout. It begins by Tucker explaining that he and Danny have always been friends, that they've always shared basically everything in life.
I don't remember this.
But all that changed when Danny got his ghost powers. It's clear from the beginning that Tucker is extremely jealous of Danny and all that he can do. It's also shown throughout the beginning of the episode that there's a genie wish that grants essentially anybody's wish. Tucker, not intentionally, wishes to have ghost powers. Complains about how he wishes he had them too. The genie shows up and grants him his wish, causing him to become half ghost as well. Tucker doesn't take the powers seriously and gets in multiple arguments with Danny about how he's showing off too much and that Tucker's allowed to have fun too.
I just wanted to let you know, I'm gonna start dating Tucker Foley. He's much cooler than you are.
Danny eventually comes up with a plan to just
What the
wish
heck?
the magical genie ghost into
That's
one of
kinda
his
crazy.
traps.
I wish you would disappear inside this thermos.
What? No!
He then somehow gets Tucker in a much angrier form than before to chase him back home to his parents' lab, where he makes Tucker go through a machine that separates his ghost self from his human form. The boys have a long heart-to-heart about what happened, and Danny apologizes for making Tucker feel lesser than him.
Absolutely
He does
not.
not show off as much as he had
I ain't take no.
Heroes before ghosts.
Absolutely not. Me personally.
An interesting
Vlad, let's go.
Vlad Masters, who's later known as Vlad Plasmus. The episode begins with Danny's parents taking him and Jazz to their 20th class reunion that is being held at Vlad Masters' mansion. On the way there, Jack, Danny's father, explains that he used to be best friends with Vlad and that he, Vlad, and Maddie, Danny's mother.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait. You see that right there? I'm just saying, Vlad, I understand. My boy, I get it.
All used to work together.
What?
in ghost hunting.
Oh my
One
God.
day,
I'll
while
fall
finding
too.
the portal, it malfunctioned. More accurately, Jack messed it up, and ectoplasm got onto Vlad, causing him to age prematurely and ruin his social life. Little did
Dang.
Danny's family know that it also turned Vlad into a part ghost, just like Danny. After the accident, Jack and Vlad never spoke again, but Jack is hoping to mend things during their trip.
You know, Jack, the Dairy King's ghost could haunt these very halls.
I'll get the bags!
Once at the mansion, Danny slowly finds out about Vlad's secret and even fights him without knowing his true identity. When Danny loses the battle and passes out, Vlad realizes that the ghost boy is Jack's son and instantly tries to meddle with their relationship and take Danny under his wing so that he can get back at Jack for the horrible life he's caused him. Danny, now trapped in an anti-ghost box, cannot help his family. That is, until he gets let out of his prison by a friendly ghost? Not all ghosts are bad, I guess. Danny saves his parents from getting harmed by Vlad, but he makes it look like his father is actually the hero.
Jack, you did it!
It was nothing, Mom.
All is well by the end of the episode, except that Vlad promises to meet him again. Dun dun.
Dun.
Later in this episode, we find Jazz being extremely suspicious. The whole episode, Jazz slowly becomes more.
I don't know, guys.
And even
Jazz was
Vlad
pissing me
to
off.
her
She kind of
something
pissed me off a lot,
only to
man.
be
I'm not
denied
gonna lie
over
to
and
you.
over again. She even asks his friends multiple times, but they ain't
Yeah,
switching,
nah.
'cause they never tell her a word.
You have to talk to somebody, Danny. You barely have any friends.
It isn't
That's
until
fucked
the very
up.
end of the episode that
That's
she actually
fucked up,
confirms
bro.
his secret identity, as he's the one who continuously saves her. She doesn't confront him though, as she wants him to feel comfortable telling her himself eventually. This episode begins with Danny's mother wanting to spend more time with him. After realizing
That's
that him
cute.
growing up has caused the two to grow apart, she books a surprise mother-son convention trip. Their flight unexpectedly takes a bad turn, and the two are forced to jump out of the plane into what seems to be the middle of nowhere in a forest. The
What
two then
kinda-
run into Vlad coincidentally. Or is it coincidentally? Maddie is at first relieved, until Vlad confesses that he wishes to steal her away from her husband.
And as a mostly single man in your 40s, might I suggest internet dating or a cat?
She and
I'm
Danny
weak.
storm away from the mansion, but are only met with obstacles. Meanwhile, back at home, Jack and Jazz are bonding unexpectedly as well. Ghosts are attacking the house, and Jack is pleasantly surprised to witness Jazz in action. Maddie comes to the conclusion that they need to go back to Vlad's mansion in order to
That's
clear the
embarrassing,
house
not
so
gonna
they
lie
can't
to you.
fight off ghosts forever. Danny, against this idea, since he finds it disgusting that Vlad wants to get with his mother, reluctantly agrees. He then transforms into his ghost self to beat up Vlad before he can be too creepy. Danny and his mother steal one of Vlad's helicopters and promise not to tell the rest of the family about all that happened. Meanwhile, Jack tells Jazz not to mention anything that happened either, as they had fought ghosts together the entire time. By the end of this episode, Danny and his mother grew fond of each other, and Jazz has a newfound respect for ghost hunting and her father's crazy antics after fighting ghosts with him all weekend.
Hey, shout out family bonding.
Starting season 2 off strong with relationship drama, this episode begins with Sam wishing that Danny never existed.
Whoa.
I had never even met you.
How did this argument come to be, you might ask? Well, basically, Danny was being silly again and putting Paulina's feelings before Sam's. Danny and Tucker had promised Sam that they would go to the movies with her, but the second they're asked by Paulina to go to her quinceañera, they bail on Sam's plans and go with that instead. Frustrated, as this hasn't been the first time she's been left in the dust, Sam wishes that she'd never met Danny. The next day, Sam approaches the boys, but neither of them know who she is. She resorts to trying to look pretty, so the boys will notice her, which worked.
She surrendered her individuality for a boy. I'm so proud of her.
She eventually convinces Danny to go through his portal like how he had before. That way, he could get his ghost powers back. Since she's the one that had originally got him to go into the portal the first time, if he had never met her, he wouldn't have ever gotten his ghost powers. After turning Danny back to normal,
And who the heck are you?
I'm Paulina?
Sam finally has the idea to just wish that she and Danny had never had that fight in the first place. This ends up working in their favor, and all is forgiven. Danny and Tucker even apologize to Sam for not going to the movies with her like they'd originally planned, and she forgives them. Danny just needs to stop messing with Paulina, and none of this mess would have happened. I'm just saying.
I can't blame him.
In this later episode, Danny gets tired of always having to deal with ghost activities and decides to split his two personalities so that his ghost form can take care of the bad guys.
I'm Danny Phantom, full-time superhero!
While his normal form can have fun with his friends. While this works for a short amount of time, Super Danny becomes frustrated that he has to deal with everything on his own and wishes to be merged back with Fun Danny. In order to merge back together, Sam and Tucker suggest that Danny go back into the Dreamcatcher that had originally merged them, but this ends up just complicating things further by making them look identical and causing them both to have their powers again, just not to their full extent. The
That's
two end
crazy.
up having to work together to defeat Technus, the main villain of this episode. During their battle, they fly through the Dreamcatcher yet again and are returned to normal. After the battle is over, they realize that on one side of the Dreamcatcher it says merge, and the other side it says separate, meaning they just weren't going through the catcher correctly. Maybe if they had just read the terms and conditions, none of this would have happened.
No one reads
I
that.
mean, Danny's probably still asleep.
What's up?
Danny!
Danny?
The first 50-minute special of the series, The Ultimate Enemy, looks into the future.
Ooh.
We find a very
Guys, this is probably one of my favorite episodes. No lie. I think this is what also made me like really fall in love with it, because I don't know, the whole concept of it, it was like, it's overplayed now. But when I first saw it happen, oh my goodness, my mind was blown. My mind was blown. It was amazing. What can I say? 10 out of 10 experience.
intriguing foe.
But
the episode starts
I feel like this is one of the most toughest plots ever.
And causing chaos for those around it. The Fenton family are seen trying to ward the villain off to no avail. The episode then cuts to Clockwork and his minions watching from the future, claiming that Danny Phantom is the one who grows up to be the most dangerous ghost ever.
Look at
In
him,
order
bro.
To protect the future,
Oh,
he must be
that's
eliminated.
aura right there.
Clockwork sends a ghost named Box Lunch to defeat Danny, but Danny gets rid of him.
Oh, come on!
And gets the answer document from his teacher for the big exam coming up so that he can cheat while he's at it. The minions are confused as to why Clockwork isn't sending another ghost after Danny, to which he replies, his future is sealed. A new ghost monster appears from the future, and appears to be a hybrid of two ghosts Danny has fought before. After defeating this monstrous creature, the trio is transported
Like
to
the
Clockwork's lair.
the future freaking
Danny tries to fight Clockwork, which proves to be
the future
futile,
timeline
since he can
in this.
literally control
I
time.
just love it. I
Clockwork
love
says
these
that
people
when
with
wearing
character
one of those time
designs.
medallions, the wearer is immune to time-based attacks. He puts one onto Danny, and Sam and the three are then free from Clockwork's attacks. Clockwork decides to send them away, but they're sent to the future this time instead of back to their normal lives. Their adventure in the future is short-lived though, as Sam and Tucker take off their time medallions to escape evil Danny.
I surrendered my human half a long time ago.
And evil Danny also steals Danny's time medallions so that he can control the past, present, and future to make sure he turns out just the way he likes it. Evil Danny disguises himself as regular Danny and tells his friends that all is well, when all is indeed not. And he ends up throwing regular Danny into the ghost realm in hopes that he won't be able to intervene with any of his plans. In present time, Jazz finds out about Dark Danny and tries to stop him, but he knocks her away. He then goes to the school to cheat on the test, which was the trigger to cause him to become evil. When Jazz wakes up, she sends a rope into the ghost portal in hopes to somehow find Danny. Meanwhile, inside the ghost realm, all of Danny's enemies from the future are ganging up on him and beating him up to get revenge for all that he's done to them. Danny ends up unlocking one of his ghostly abilities and pushes all of the ghosts off of him. Danny, realizing from Jazz's note that something must have happened with Vlad, uses a portal to get to him. Vlad tells Danny the story of how evil Danny came to be. After Danny's family and friends died in an accident, he moved in with Vlad and asked him to remove his ghost self. The only problem was that once he did, his ghost self ripped out Vlad's ghost self and then became evil, as Vlad is naturally evil-natured. This then started the 10-year rampage that evil Danny has been on. It's also presumed that Danny killed his human self, as human Danny doesn't exist in the future.
Till it's time for you to be blown everywhere.
Danny then goes back to present time in order to fight Dark Danny and save his family. He's too late, as his family almost blows up in an explosion when all of a sudden Clockwork stops time for him and allows him
That plot armor is a man.
Confesses to his teacher about what.
But man, for the first time, it hits
and
different.
all goes back right with the world. Danny eventually approaches his sister, since she revealed that she knew about his secret, and they talk it out. From here on out, Jazz is on his side and is an ally, just like Sam and Tucker.
Shout out.
Almost immediately following Jazz finding out Danny's
and this is why I said earlier that I didn't like Jazz, bro. How you gonna say, "Oh, he's on your side," and then gonna post some bull BS like this? How? Like, it makes no sense.
It's shown that
It makes no sense. I didn't like it.
About basically anything that he does. Throughout the day, Jazz attempts to rescue Danny when battling basically any ghost. But instead of helping him, she continuously ends up hurting him instead and getting in his way.
Hacked into my private ghost files? How'd you get the password?
It's Paulina Fenton.
That's
Danny
crazy.
eventually yells at her and tells her that she isn't a good ghost hunter, which hurts her feelings enough to cause her to run away from home.
Okay, maybe it was warranted.
Vlad's mansion.
Maybe it was
Why you
warranted.
ask? I have no clue. Danny,
But
finding out that her
still.
sister is missing, searches for her in the ghost zone, but gets captured by Skulker. Skulker takes him to Vlad's mansion, where Vlad tells Jazz that in order to prove her loyalty to him, she must fight her brother. The two pretend to fight until Vlad announces Jazz's victory.
But please, just follow my lead.
He gets close enough to her that she's able to punch him in the face. The two then escape and reconcile. Jazz and Danny both apologize. Jazz for being overbearing, and Danny for not understanding that she was just trying to help. This later episode begins with Vlad trying to create clones of Danny. It's shown that there are 3 messed up versions of these clones, in which he sends after Danny in order to capture him. Once he defeats one of these clones, he goes home only to find a small girl that looks alarmingly like him.
Can I help you?
Yes!
No, not you.
Not so loud.
She introduces herself as Daniela. Danny. For sake of the video, I'm going to be calling Danny Daniela in order to avoid confusion. Before Danny can call his parents to confirm her identity or not, they get attacked by yet another ghost.
Damn.
Daniela transforms into her ghost self.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was tough too. This was, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I thought this was pretty cool.
Later in the episode, after Danny asks Daniela where she got her powers, she ominously tells him that he'll find out everything soon enough. Danny then runs into Vlad, is shot down by Daniela, and it is then revealed that Daniela sees Vlad as her father. Danny is captured, and Vlad announces he's been lonely and has been attempting to create the perfect son for himself, basing him off of Danny. Vlad shows no remorse for all the other clones that die, which worries Daniela. But her love for Vlad and her want to be someone's daughter overpower her unease, and he continues to hurt Daniela. Meanwhile,
Man,
Sam and Tucker
crazy.
notice Danny getting captured and stealing one of his
I could
parents'
cry.
bikes in order to reach him faster.
Not really,
Danny
but
slowly gets under Daniela's skin, and she finally realizes that Vlad will kill her just like every other failed stereotype, and she takes Danny's side. Danny escapes, and just at the right moment, Sam and Tucker show up to slam into Vlad. Daniela then punches him, and they all escape.
Thank you! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, you guys! I'll never take you for granted again.
While researching this movie episode, I found something very interesting. Freak Show. The main villain of the episode uses a gauntlet, much like Thanos in the Marvel movies. He has to put certain gems in it in order to do certain things.
Wow, I didn't
Anyway,
even think of that.
I'm including this episode for one reason and one reason only. Danny reveals himself live on television, and his parents find out about his secret for the first time ever.
Paulina Fenton. Hey, I finally wrapped my mind around it. Okay.
Much to his
Gold
surprise,
digging.
they're actually quite accepting of this. Even so, at the end of the episode, Danny makes everyone forget the last 3 days in order for everything to go back to normal. This episode begins with the guys in white, kind of a spoof on Men in Black, wanting to buy all of Fenton's works. Originally, Danny's parents decline, but they're offered with so much money that they would be stupid not to take the offer.
Jack, you can't sell our home. Wow, that's a lot of zeros.
They move into a large mansion, and Danny starts to neglect his friends and school duties since he's distracted by all of his newfound gadgets and wealth. Sam and Tucker become suspicious of the men in white, as they're normally quite rude to the Fentons and have even referred to them as crackpots. Sam
Wow,
and Tucker sneak into
that's
Danny's
crazy.
parents' old lab, only to discover that the men in white's real motive is to send an ecto-missile into the ghost realm to destroy all ghosts. What the men in white don't know is that the ghost realm is the counterpart to Earth. If you destroy one dimension, you are destroying both of them. Sam and Tucker try to convince Danny to help them defeat the men in white, but it's useless trying to get into his new wealthy thick skull. They both go and try to defeat the men in white themselves, but are captured in the process.
Stupid.
Slowly but
Wouldn't
surely,
let you
Danny
get the
realizes
chance.
he's being an and goes to save them. Danny uses the portal located
Is that a
in
gold?
Vlad's
Oh
mansion,
my
as
goodness.
his mansion is much closer to the ghost realm than going all the way home. Once in the ghost realm, he has to make his way all the way to his family's portal, which proves to take some time. Once there, he notices the men in white about to shoot their missile. Before it can reach the inside of the ghost realm, Danny and other ghosts send a large boulder right at the portal in order to smash the missile.
So, that was a novelty rocket?
The men in white give up and return Fenton to his family, and they all decide the rich lifestyle just isn't for them. It's cousin
Hey, bro.
reunion time. This episode
By any means necessary. I'm broke. Okay, broke as fuck. No, I have nothing. Line, but I'm dead. I'm broke, bro. Paycheck to paycheck. I'm struggling. I'm tired of this shit. If I ever got a handout like that, ever, albeit as long as it's moral, you know, nothing crazy. I'm not selling my soul. No strings attached. You feel me? 100%. No questions asked. And I won't even spend most of it. I'll get my crib somewhere nice. Like, I don't know if I would really want a mansion for real. Maybe something like, honestly, probably something that AMP got. Honestly, like their mansion or their house or whatever. That's like almost peak. It's not. I want to say it's not even that crazy, but it's not a crazy house either. Like, it does have high rises and like, yeah, it has big thing window sills. I think it is off a mountain or something like that. You got a basketball court, but like, it's not like, that's not something you would catch a billionaire or a millionaire in. They own like mega mansions, some crazy shit. I don't need any of that. I want something like that, big enough for my parents to come over, my family to come over, have a good time, and chill. And so I don't gotta work no more. Because honestly, I don't want to work. Working sucks. I hate it here. But it's like, that's like that's like what I'm trying to get to. And that's the reason I'm over here doing this. I don't know if y'all gonna fuck with it, but y'all gonna have to deal with me. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. Tell you.
episode begins with Daniela desperately trying to find Danny in hopes that he can somehow help her stabilize herself. She's still not completely healthy. As stated before, Vlad created her as an experiment hoping to create the perfect son.
Oh, yes, I agree, Maddie. It's time for a little research.
Vlad, spying on Daniela, decides to hire Valerie, another ghost hunter in town.
Hey,
that
Valerie
was
was like that
Danny's
too.
ultimate enemy, to capture Daniela for him. Valerie is successful in capturing her, but when Daniela explains that she's searching for Danny Phantom, Valerie gets excited and tells her that she wants to meet him as well, when in reality, she just wants to destroy them both. Once Danny and Daniela are both back at the mansion, Vlad begins to run experiments on Daniela to further do research on his clone-making abilities. He ends up completely wiping her out though,
Bye, Danny. Thanks for...
Oh no.
only for her to regenerate into a completely stable ghost kid. Alright, let's go, Daniela! She kicks Vlad's butt and is finally free. The last thing we see is Valerie finally finding out that Vlad is indeed an evil half-ghost. She vows to make sure he pays in the future. Ending the show off strong with this 1-hour movie special, Phantom Planet marks the 53rd and 54th episode overall, and the sad goodbye to a beloved Nickelodeon.
Oh, it's the last
The
episode.
movie
It's cool.
begins with Vlad swearing once and for all that he's going to get rid of Danny Phantom. He creates a team of ghost capturers called Masters Blasters.
Man,
That proves to be much
suck.
more effective in capturing ghosts than Danny ever was. Also, meanwhile, Danny's parents are thrown in jail by the Master Blasters with accusations of harboring the fugitive ghost boy Danny Phantom. Feeling broken and
What?
defeated, Danny decides to go back into his parents' portal and get rid of his ghost self. Once he's done with that, the portal breaks down and explodes. Sam and Tucker are quite annoyed with Danny and his decision making.
I said, go and ghost.
It worked!
But Danny and Jazz are able to bail his parents out of jail and he no longer has to fight ghosts. However, because Danny is no longer offering his services, the Master Blasters start charging an insane amount of money if anybody wants them to get rid of ghosts.
Crazy.
Okay, marketing major coming in really clutch right now. We love understanding how supply and demand works. Anyway, at the same time, the world news reports that there's a giant asteroid, Disasteroid, heading straight towards Earth. Vlad announces his secret identity and claims that he is the only person on Earth that could possibly save them by making the asteroid intangible, the power that makes things be able to pass through other things. He says he will only do this if the government makes him the ruler of the world and gives him $500 billion.
Bill's kind of
You
crazy.
have all the money, silly Vlad. Anyway, once he reaches the asteroid, nothing works, because the asteroid is actually made of anti-ectochemicals that nullify all ghost powers.
You have to help me. You wouldn't turn your back on an old friend, would you?
Jack is with
Yes.
Vlad, but upon realizing that he's actually an
Yes.
evil person, he chooses not to help him. Oh my god, get wrecked. Moving on, Danny goes to the Ghost Realm to try and get ghosts to rally and make the Earth intangible together. But all of his former foes just make fun of him and hit him with their powers since he's now defenseless. Being hit with all these powers causes Danny's own powers to regenerate and he's able to escape. His new plan is to capture a bunch of ghosts from the Ghost World and have the people of Earth make tunnels with metal in order for him to surround the Earth with ghosts to fuse their energy and make the
Honestly,
Earth
like,
intangible.
W plan,
Okay,
but
it's honorable
so
mention
unrealistic.
time. Sam and Danny
So
kiss
unrealistic.
for good luck. We shipped it all along, folks. Let's all just be
Yeah, it took
grateful
fucking
actually
3
happened.
seasons.
Danny is successful somehow in intangibling the entire world.
Where's the asteroid?
And he reveals his
Just saying
identity
though,
to
that would
everyone.
technically destroy the
Everyone cheers
world.
him on and regards him as a
Not
hero.
gonna lie.
They make statues of him all around Amity Park as well. More Sam and Danny content. Here we go. They talk about their feelings for each other and end up dating right at the end. Ah, that's awesome.
What a ring, it's type
Literally
crazy.
The best ending to a TV show so far.
What a beautiful ending. But yeah, guys, that's the end of that. By all means, go shout out Jartoon. Go give him a follow, like, comment, do whatever you need to do. And yeah, man, appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope you guys come by for another one. All right, see y'all later.